Memory is what sustains all of us. And when we have lost loved ones, we need to be very mindful of that loss and of our going about and trying our best to always, this week they said it's sibling week on Facebook. And so everybody started placing pictures of themselves and their siblings on Facebook. And it's interesting. My sister put up one and I got hair and I'm thin. I wish I could, back there from Rabbi, head full of hair, thin, good looking, all my teeth. That was really something to see. And my sister has a lot of pictures like that where we're not missing, she doesn't miss anything, she doesn't miss any turn. But in remembering your siblings, I thought I saw one of you and your siblings doing it. Okay. I saw one. Remembering your siblings, particularly if you've lost a sibling, has an immense effect on you. Particularly, when you're young. You're young, the siblings are young, everyone is so young. And today they say that 70 is the new 50. And that 80 is the new 60. I'm telling you, trust me. Trust me. If I told you how old some of the folks were, the men, we don't have any old sisters over here. If I told you how old some of these brothers were, you would really be surprised. You would be astounded, but they are here, and they're looking good. Do you know what it is to be able to build community? Do you know what it is to be blessed unexpectedly? You don't have any idea that this blessing is coming. And maybe it's never happened to you. Maybe you all, you know everything and you've never gotten any surprises. But I remember a few years ago, one of our aunts, they said the state said they are holding so many millions of dollars of people in the state of Illinois. So my aunt said, well, I'll put my name in. My name came up, so will you fill these forms out for me? Yeah. We'll fill the forms out. We filled the forms out. They verified it. A couple of months later, she got a check. She didn't realize an account that she had many years ago that she forgot about in the bank kept accruing a little bit of interest, little by little. She didn't leave with $15 to $20 there, but after 25 years, she got back a couple of $100. I don't know about you, but she counted that as a blessing. I will never forget the first dividend check I got from my insurance. I was like, I wasn't looking, I thought it was a bill. Until I opened it up and said, paid to the order of. But it comes, these things come from doing what we are supposed to do. How do we give? Rabbi said last night that he saw a woman she was missing a hand, she had a bag, and his heart went out, and he just went in his cup tray and pulled out whatever he pulled out and gave her. I said, yes, that's one way to give, but that's not necessarily the best way to give. The best way to give, in my humble opinion, is to give to organizations that have the responsibility and the mission of giving and helping those in need. So don't be afraid to give to an organization. So that organization that helps us twice a year called Ne'ot, and they provide for us material. They don't ask us for any fee. What we do is we work, and in many instances we also send contributions to them. Why? Because it's just not helping us, it's helping the entire community of Jews in the city of Chicago, in the metropolitan area. And unbeknownst to some of y'all, all Jews are not Jews. How do you? You know a couple of quotes, don't you? You too. Starting with me. But the idea is here. This is the idea. This is the idea. We are now feeding over 15,000 hungry Jews through the meal kit. When we started this project, and I started working with them over 30 years ago, the number of people that were being served was small. It was like 5,000. Now that number is growing exponentially. Why? Because it costs more now to actually live and function in this society. And I told you yesterday I mentioned to you what is happening in the government, in the city government, in the state government. So these agencies that help people to help themselves, I think it's important that you choose that agency that is doing something. Cancer research, breast cancer research, the March of Dimes, and then agencies that also literally help to feed people, literally help to train people. I also told them, you know that story, some of you have heard it, about being careful about being so free of what you've given of your own. Because one brother was here last night, he kept talking about how he gives and gives and gives. I said, well, you border on foolishness. In other words, you're not supposed to not pay your rent and your light bill and your gas bill and give that to somebody else because they say they're going to give it back to you on Friday. It happened to me once. Friday still hasn't got here. And I can't tell you how long this is. They call this crumbling. But the idea is this. How about not being so drawn in, because it's okay to give, but saying, you know, I can give you this, but maybe I can give you some advice too. Go down the street, there's an agency there that does job training. And after they do job training, they help to do job placement. I remember that we had to stop giving away money many years ago because the word got out in the community. Them Hebrews is giving out money. And one sister said, Rabbi, don't give them no more money. She said, let's take the money and buy food. Let's buy diapers. And when people come and say that they need, we'll give them food, we'll give them diapers, we'll give them laundry detergent. Well, one family came, they sat there the whole service. After service, they said that they had need. So a couple sisters went and got bags of groceries and brought them out. And the people like, what is this? You got all these needs, we're providing you, but they wanted money. So give it to an agency that is going to properly investigate and then is assigned, has a mission of helping people. Our mission is not to help everybody. I cannot tell you how many times people come and ring this doorbell and want to speak to whoever's in charge. And then they have a long, sad story. And I promptly tell them where Catholic Charities is, where the Sisters of St. Kashmir are, because I don't know you. That's not our responsibility and obligation when you're not going to go and say that you need something. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It's the same way with membership. The member that's never seen, and then but they have these needs that they want you to help them with. A week ago, we celebrated the Savior. Deuteronomy 16 tells us, not that all of your days are to make my offering, but at the place that the eternal shall choose. Some years later, that place of choice became Jerusalem. So I explained to you during the Seder that the rituals and the sacraments of faith, the articles of faith that we partake of, are not a sacrifice. They're articles of faith, a demonstration of our faith, but not a sacrifice. We don't make sacrifices in America. We don't make sacrifices in London or in South America. We don't even make sacrifices in Israel or Jerusalem. Because why? There is no temple. Giving, helping, and observing. Giving, helping, and observing. When you give, it is going to come back to you because you're helping others. So do not ever be afraid to give to an organization that you believe in, the work that they're doing. You ever see those people, 35,000 of them running for breast cancer awareness or something like that, or the 60-mile walk? The money that is collected from those entities, the majority of that money goes to do the research. Research is critical in helping science work with many of the conditions. I thought to myself some time ago, if in fact some of the physical challenges that I've had in the last 2 years had happened to me 30 years ago, where was the science, or would the science have been the same as it was last year? Absolutely unequivocally. So research is of paramount importance. Same type of research that you say you want to teach. You cannot teach what you have not studied. And everybody that studied does not necessarily make them a teacher. And that's just the truth of the matter. Because you read something, it doesn't mean that you can teach it. Maybe it means that you should apply it to one's own self, as opposed to trying to tell someone else what they ought to do. And lastly, Kent Landau stayed here with us all day. We didn't leave until a little after 8:30 last night. And he brought up the point of this portion. It says, it talked about the year of release. If you have a Hebrew bond man or bond woman that work for you for 6 years, in the 7th year they shall be released. So Kent Landau said, well, what if we had that applicable today? Maybe we wouldn't have the amount of poverty. If those who have over, I forget the amount that he said, would just give 1% of their income, it could address a lot of the issues of poverty. It would address the issue of the massive deficits that have been accumulated in this city, in this state, and in this country. Now let me tell you this is the last thing. Do you know that who was working 35 years ago at a job and went shopping that many years ago to feed his family? And you might have been able to take $25 or $30 and literally go shop and buy sufficient food to take care of your family, not for a week, maybe 3 or 4 days at least. $35 today might get you one bag. You know what you might not even get you a bag, huh? Might get you a bag. I mean, my wife and I were talking, and we was how, we could take $30, $40 and, we didn't have to eat rich. That wasn't important for us, but that we ate. That's what was important. We didn't have to, the kids wanted the gym shoes, but for us it was important that you had on some shoes. Not that you had on somebody's name on the shoe. So we get lost. So our society is, we're told that the parents with the less or the least spend the most on things that really are not that important. A prom. A prom. $2,000 for a dress, $500 for the limousine, whatever else. Then they'll get them a hotel room so they can party. You know, this happened. And then after the prom, I'm looking at how I'm going to pay for it. But my daughter, my son was happy. Let's figure out some other ways to make him happy. Because when you got a person that thinks that the more you spend means the more that you love, that doesn't really equate. Particularly if you're spending foolish. You're sending them to, you know what we're going to do with that money? You're going away to college next year. We're going to take this money and we're going to save it for shopping, because you're going to have to furnish your room. You're going to have to get your new necessities. So this prom, wait till you have the big prom. Don't make this high school thing is the most significant thing that's going to happen to you in your life. Because it is. And if it is, and then you got a very short-lived life. But going to prom is the most significant thing that you think that you've ever done.